Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tyler, and today we are going to be continuing What If Goku Transformed into the legendary Super Saiyan by doing part 2. Now, to clear things up, Goku T23 and his fans, I did not copy him. However, his What If is still similar via the title and goes over the beginning of Dragon Ball, so it feels like a What If that changes throughout the entire story. So be sure to go check out his video, give him a like, link in the description. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. We left off with the Z-Fighters finding out where Jiro's lab is located. As that happens, Cell would make his way to Jiro's lab to absorb the androids. I put up a poll asking you guys who gets to Jiro's lab first, the Z-Fighters or Cell. Turns out the majority of you wanted the Z-Fighters to get there, and so Trunks along with the others get to the base before Cell does. Trunks blasts open the door, and before he begins to destroy stuff, he notices a third pod with the number 16. Trunks thinks of this as another thing in the timeline that changed due to him coming to the timeline, and so he just proceeds to destroy the android pods. Every single one, so he doesn't even care that 16's a brand new one. He's not giving any of them a chance. Bulma and Gohan and Krillin and Yajirobe then decide to head off to check up on Goku since, well, the android threat is dealt with. Meanwhile, Piccolo and Trunks destroy everything in the lab and make sure everything inside of it is destroyed. After they reduce the lab into nothing, Bulma, Yajirobe, Gohan, and Krillin would then proceed to go check up on Goku, while Trunks, Tien, Piccolo, and Vegeta decide to basically stand there and think of a new plan. What are they gonna do? You know, what is Trunks gonna do? He basically saved their timeline, but Piccolo is also worried about Trunks' timeline and wants to make sure he gets to bring his timeline to peace, just like how he just did that for them. Anyways, Vegeta is just kind of standing there, kind of disappointed because he wanted to test out his Super Saiyan power on these androids, and before they can really make a decision, they are stopped by a green bug man. Cell is here to take 17 and 18 to become perfect. Trunks says that they are dead, and Cell is in complete shock. Cell, enraged at this, begins to power up and quickly blitz Trunks and begin to drain his energy. Trunks' energy is dwindling away along with his life, and so Vegeta then proceeds to kick and perfect Cell off of Trunks. Also forgot to mention that during this time where Vegeta, Tenshinhan, Piccolo, and Trunks are basically thinking of a plan, Trunks would then reveal himself, so Vegeta knows that Trunks is his son. The reason why I wanted to do it in this part of the timeline rather than before they proceed to go to Jiro's lab is because I felt like Trunks just saying it kind of came out of nowhere, so I want Trunks to basically fully admit it to Vegeta after the android threat is over. Now, this kick is something that Cell would not expect, and this would do significant damage to him. Remember, this Cell is the Cell that was getting bullied by Kamikolo, so he's not as strong as he was when he basically bodied Kamikolo in Android 17. So he's not really on their level yet, but he is slightly above everyone right now. However, if the Z-Fighters decide to use teamwork, it could overwhelm Cell, and Cell is thinking of this and is basically being calm and collected right now and taking his time and thinking what to do. While Cell is standing there awkwardly and thinking of a plan, Vegeta is just flexing and saying that he is the strongest Z-Fighter right now, and Kakarot can't even rival him. But everyone knows, especially Piccolo, that Goku, when he transforms into his legendary Super Saiyan state, he's definitely far above Vegeta, but Goku can't quite access that form right now, and can't even fight right now. He's currently fighting the heart virus. Cell then finally comes up with an idea, and that is to off-guard everyone and suck up all their energy. If he can't have the android's power, he'll have the Z-Fighters. Anyways, he then proceeds to charge at Vegeta, as Vegeta then retaliates by charging back at Cell, and he basically thinks that he's just gonna GG one-shot in perfect Cell. But Cell would then smirk, which would off-guard Vegeta along with the other Z-Fighters, which Cell would then use this off-guarded time to his advantage and cast a solar flare, blinding every single Z-Fighter. And this would actually blind Vegeta first, so Vegeta is the first one basically out of commission, and this would give Cell the opportunity to drain Vegeta, and he sucks up all of his energy until Vegeta is then reverted back into his base form. He then proceeds to suck all of Trunks' energy, then Piccolo's energy, and then Tien's energy, and then with all this power, he then believes that he is confident enough to rule the world. If he can't become perfect, then he'll just dominate the planet. He then proceeds to throw Piccolo into a mountain. He then proceeds to throw Vegeta into a completely different mountain. He then proceeds to crush Trunks' throat and punch through Tien's chest. So Tien and Trunks are actually killed in the process, while Vegeta and Piccolo are out of commission and barely alive. Now, just to give you a quick power scale of this What If series, this Imperfect Cell is actually stronger than the Imperfect Cell that fought Kamikolo. So he's stronger than Android 16, but he's weaker than his Semi-Perfect Cell counterpart. And if you're questioning why, well, Imperfect Cell, the one that fought Kamikolo, actually had to absorb dozens of cities just to try and get to that level. But now he's draining not Vegeta, not Trunks, but also Piccolo in the process, along with Tien. These three, or at least Piccolo, Trunks, and Vegeta, are Super Saiyan level threats. And this amount of ki would at least put him above the one that fought Kamikolo. And that's at least a lowball in my opinion. Currently, Cell is wreaking havoc on the cities, and as this is happening, Goku would finally be awake. And he finally recovered from the heart virus. Gohan, Krillin, Chi-Chi, Yajirobe, Yamcha, and Bulma are relieved that their friend Goku is finally awake. However, Goku is not feeling the same way as his friends due to sensing Vegeta and Piccolo's ki dwindling away. Krillin would then be shocked, and he would look at Goku saying, "How could that be? Tien and Trunks were also there." It shouldn't just be Vegeta and Piccolo's energy, it should also be Tien and Trunks along with Vegeta and Piccolo's energy. So something must have attacked them. Goku and Gohan are actually very shocked at this because they didn't realize at first. And hearing this from Krillin, all three of them would immediately head out to Korin's tower, and Gohan wouldn't listen to his mom saying, "Oh, what about your studies?" Gohan literally has a bond with Piccolo, and he's not going to hear the news about him dying and just go back to studying. That's not how Gohan acted in the Android saga. Remember how Gohan acted after hearing that Piccolo is actually losing to Imperfect Cell. He was trying to fly out to save Piccolo, and Goku had to literally hit Gohan to snap him out of it. However, I don't think Goku would want to bring Gohan, but Gohan, I believe, would convince Goku in this timeline because Gohan says that he cares about Piccolo and he doesn't want him getting hurt, and besides, Krillin is going, so why shouldn't he go? Gohan is actually stronger than Krillin at this point in the timeline. Goku would then be convinced by this, and before Gohan and Krillin teleport off to Korin's tower, Yajirobe would then ask for Goku to teleport him as well because that's basically his house. So Goku would then teleport all three of them to Korin's tower, grab the senzu beans, Yajirobe would then be finally dropped off, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan would then teleport to where Vegeta and Piccolo are, and they would actually teleport to Piccolo first since Vegeta's in his base form, so his power isn't as recognizable, and he did take a lot more damage than Piccolo did against Imperfect Cell. Anyways, Piccolo would then give him the rundown, Goku would then give him a senzu bean, he would then point out to where Vegeta is, Goku would then teleport to Vegeta, give him a senzu bean, and Vegeta would reluctantly eat it, and then after that, Goku would then say that maybe if he fights Cell, he would be pushed to use that green kind of Super Saiyan form that he used on Frieza. Vegeta would then say that there's no hope for that and they can't risk it. Vegeta should go and fight Cell again because he did get a Zenkai boost after that beating. Piccolo would then say that he can sense Vegeta and he definitely can tell that Vegeta got stronger, but it's nowhere near Imperfect Cell's current power. But he does have a way of getting stronger. He would then explain to them that if he can possibly merge with Kami, he can possibly rival that of Imperfect Cell and at least buy them some time. Anyways, Piccolo would then proceed to fly to the lookout, and Gohan, Vegeta, Goku, and Krillin would then fly out to a city where Cell is wreaking havoc and stop him once and for all. Anyways, Goku would then immediately encounter Cell, and when they meet face to face for the very first time, Goku would then say to Cell that he understands that he wants to try and become perfect, but he's not going to be able to do that by just absorbing people and sucking up their energy and being very cheap. He needs to work hard and train hard to obtain that power and utilize that power. Cell would then say that there's no need for him to train because he already has the cells of Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, the strongest and greatest fighters on the planet. He doesn't need to train. Vegeta would then laugh and he would then say, "That mentality would lead to your downfall." Cell would then proceed to laugh and say, "Funny, Vegeta, coming from the person I just completely dismantled earlier." And before Vegeta could really say anything, Goku proceeds to power up into his Kaioken times 20 state, not wasting any time and proceeding to charge at Imperfect Cell. This form of Kaioken is actually a lot more significant than the one that Goku used on Namek because this one is actually a lot better and Goku's able to control it a lot easier. The recoil is not as bad and Goku can actually use it for longer periods of time. Because Goku has been training with the Kaioken for the 3-year gap in preparation for the androids. So So his Kaioken is actually a lot better in this timeline, but it's still not enough to beat Imperfect Cell. We then cut to what Piccolo is up to, and he actually convinces Kami a lot earlier because Cell has already absorbed every one of their energy and is basically causing chaos on Earth, and Kami can't do anything about it. So he decides to fuse with Piccolo a lot earlier, and Piccolo will then finally become Kamikolo. Anyways, Kamikolo will then proceed to fly on down to the battlefield and assist Goku on fighting Imperfect Cell. We then cut back to Imperfect Cell versus Goku, and Goku got off-screened. Goku is currently on the ground, and he seemingly succumbed to the Kaioken, and Imperfect Cell is just slowly walking up to Goku and getting ready to drain him. Anyways, Vegeta and Gohan then proceed to try and save him, but before they can save him, Kamikolo comes in time and saves him, and sends Imperfect Cell flying back. Imperfect Cell was off-guarded, but this kick doesn't do too much to him because Imperfect Cell is already above Kamikolo in power. Imperfect Cell will then power up to his full, and Piccolo knows that he's actually outclassed, and before he can react, Cell will then blitz Piccolo and blast a hole through his chest, knocking him down to the ground and out of commission. Goku is shocked to see Piccolo, but he can't really power up at this point because he's still screaming in agony, suffering from the Kaioken. However, Gohan is the one to actually power up and get enraged by this because Piccolo is his friend after all, and Gohan then proceeds to obtain the Super Saiyan form, not the legendary one, but the normal yellowed hair one. Gohan would then proceed to charge at Cell along with Vegeta charging at Cell, but Vegeta would more so be backing up Gohan since Gohan at this point has surpassed Vegeta due to his constant rage amping his Super Saiyan form. So in raw power, Gohan does scale above Vegeta. Anyways, Gohan does get a couple good hits in and does way better against Cell than his father did, but it's still not enough, and Cell proceeds to suck up Gohan's energy and make him revert back into his base form. Vegeta would then proceed to charge at Imperfect Cell, but Imperfect Cell is far above this Vegeta at this point and catches Vegeta's punch, punches him one time, and reverts Vegeta back into his base form. Goku would then attempt to get up, but he can barely stand up, and Imperfect Cell just kicks Goku right back down. Imperfect Cell would then proceed to look at Gohan in his unconscious body, and he would then proceed to smile and walk up to Gohan. Goku would then scream at Cell to stop it and knock it off, and that he's gone too far and to take him instead, but it's already too late. Imperfect Cell would then proceed to blast Gohan into the afterlife. Gohan is dead. Krillin at this point is way too weak to try and help against Cell, so he's currently hiding in the back, and witnessing Gohan's death, he then proceeds to come out from the shadows and try and fight Imperfect Cell. And he actually off-guards him for a second and actually gets one good hit in, like in the original. However, Imperfect Cell would then proceed to suck up Krillin's energy, and before he can finish off sucking Krillin's energy, a Ki Blast would come from Goku's hand and fire at Imperfect Cell, sending him flying. But this Ki Blast wasn't a normal Ki Blast, it was a green Ki Blast. Goku proceeds to power up, and his hair begins to flicker from green to black, and at that point Goku's hair would then suddenly stay green, and he would then let out a large roar, and at that point a green aura would then consume his body. This legendary Super Saiyan Goku is far above the legendary Super Saiyan Goku in the Namek Saga. Goku would then proceed to say how he won't forgive Cell for what he did to his son, and manages to rush at Imperfect Cell and not only blitz him, but also overwhelm Cell with sheer raw power. Imperfect Cell attempts to charge at Goku with his tail out to try and suck up his energy, but Goku would quickly react and easily get out of the way of Cell's attack, grabs Cell's tail and throws out multiple jabs at Cell's stomach and slams him down to the ground. Goku would then proceed to fly back up and fire a green Kamehameha at Cell with no remorse. Cell has killed his son and has sucked up all of his friend's energy and has caused havoc on the world. He's showing him no mercy, and this form is already making him go insane. Anyways, Goku's Kamehameha reduces Cell into nothing, and Goku would then collapse on the floor due to exhaustion. Eventually, Vegeta would then wake up. He would then find a senzu bean, give one to Goku, but first he would wake him up, and then he would proceed to give him a senzu bean. And at that point, Goku would recover from his injuries, and not knowing what to do, along with Vegeta not knowing what to do, they would then proceed to go to the lookout to seek advice from Kami. But when they arrive, they actually forget that Kami fused with Piccolo. And so that would leave with Vegeta and Goku having no other choice but to seek advice from Popo, but Popo would actually give him some good advice. And that advice is to find new Namek, recruit a new Guardian, and revive everyone that has been killed. Goku would then say that's a good idea. He would then proceed to do that thing, teleport to New Namek, gather the Dragon Ball, summon Porunga, and revive Piccolo, Tien, and Trunks. At that point, Goku would then recruit Dende to be the new Guardian, and when Goku proceeds to teleport Dende back to the lookout, Dende would then upgrade Shenron, giving the Z Fighters access to 2 wishes and no limit on death count. And so Goku would then proceed to summon Shenron and casting his first wish, and that first wish is to revive everyone that Cell has killed, and the second wish is to basically redo the damage that Cell has done. And so the buildings and everything would then be fine, the sky would be clear again, everyone is alive, and everyone lives in harmony. At that point, Goku would then use his instant transmission, and he would then bring Vegeta along as well to teleport back to where Piccolo, Gohan, Trunks, and Tenshinhan are. Trunks would then say congratulations on saving your timeline, but now he needs to get back to his timeline to somehow try and face against the androids. He doesn't have any power, but he'll try his best. Goku then puts 2 and 2 together and actually thinks of an idea and comes up with a plan for Trunks to get stronger in a short amount of time before the time machine is ready to go. Trunks is confused at first, but then Goku tells Trunks to hold his hand. Trunks holds his hand, and Goku then uses his other hand to use his instant transmission technique to teleport to the lookout. At that point, Goku would then tell Mr. Popo to introduce Trunks to the hyperbolic time chamber. At that point, Mr. Popo then explains to us and Trunks about the hyperbolic time chamber, and so after that, Trunks decides to train in for at least 1 day. He's not going to be as strong as his Cell Saga counterpart, but he'll still unlock Super Saiyan Grade 2 and be stronger than Future Cell and Future 17 and 18. At that point, Trunks feels a lot more stronger and a lot more capable and a lot more confident enough to take on the androids. And at that point, he would thank Goku, and eventually his time machine would be ready, and Trunks will then proceed to give his goodbyes and leave back to his timeline. And when he returns back to his timeline, he would then proceed to destroy 17 and 18 like in the original, and he would also defeat Future Cell and bring peace to the future timeline. Now, as for the present timeline, there obviously are a lot of changes. No Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Goku doesn't die, he's alive for the 7-year peacetime, and, well, a lot of things are going to change. But we already are about 17 minutes into this video, so we are actually going to leave this off for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 2. If you guys want part 3, be sure to destroy the like button. And actually, I'm going to make the like goal very high. I'm going to set it very high. 1,000 likes for part 3 guaranteed. Yes, 1,000 likes. I know you guys can hit it. You guys hit it for part 1, so I want to see it for part 2. I'm expecting it. Anyways, guys, with that out of the way, be sure to go follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and, well, go check out GOKU T23's What If, along with checking out what songs I used in the description. Thank you for everyone for watching. I'm gonna get up out of here. Peace out.